August 2021. That was the month when I first visited Universal Orlando Resort in Orlando, Florida. We had a 2-park ticket, meaning we could visit both Universal Orlando and Universal's Islands of Adventure in the same day. Both parks were phenomenal, but Islands of Adventure was a totally different experience that changed the way I thought about theme parks forever. But to even get to that point, we need to travel back 5 years ago to a little town in PA called Elysburg. Nobles Amusement Resort is a small family-owned amusement park north of Harrisburg. We had been going to this park for many years, but I had never attempted to brave my biggest fear: heights. As a kid, around 6 or 7, I still was terrified of the 10-foot drop that was on Cosmos Curves, the park's E&F Myler family coaster. But this time, I wasn't going to wimp out of a coaster. This time, I was going to ride the Phoenix. I still remember cresting the lift hill and holding on to the buzz bar as tight as I possibly could. I remember being terrified of the strong airtime pops and the drop. A year later, I got on Impulse, and I was so horrified that I didn't get back on the coaster until 2021. So how did I get to where I am today? A person who loves an adrenaline rush of a 300-foot Giga coaster, who loves a coaster that tries to rip your legs off while exerting powerful G-forces on your body. Well, next, we're heading to Hershey Park in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Hershey Park, another park we visited a lot, is home to a lot of coasters, with another one on the way in 2023. The last time we visited the park before the pandemic was a monumental one in my journey of becoming a coaster enthusiast. I rode Great Bear for my very first time. Great Bear is a Bollinger and Mavillard inverted coaster, dangling riders below the track. Great Bear has a height of just over 120 feet in 4 inversions. Now, Great Bear, of course, was terrifying to me, but my mom was a big fan and said I would like it. Sooner than later, I found myself strapped in and ready to go. After completing the rides course, I had a smile. I actually liked it. The drop didn't seem as daunting to me because it banks a bit on the way down, and my mom was laughing the entire ride, which made me less scared. Although I was still scared of most coasters, this ride on Great Bear was a step in the right direction. After COVID, visiting Hershey Park was much, much different. They had just opened Candemonium, which was a B&M hypercoaster, and they had all kinds of restrictions for COVID-19. Although they weren't as bad as 2020, it was still kind of weird walking into a park with a bunch of people wearing masks. But this trip to Hershey Park was one of the most influential trips in making myself a coaster enthusiast. In June of 2021, I went to Hershey Park with a friend who loved roller coasters and was not at all scared of them. The entire time we were there, I rode all the coasters I wanted to, like Lightning Racer or Sidewinder or very, very small roller coasters that were not the big 5 or the very tall ones. And towards the end of our trip, he wanted me to go on Storm Runner. And at first, I was like, no way. But after more persuasion, he ended up dragging me in line, and sooner than later, I found myself in the station of Storm Runner. I was so scared, but after launching 0 to 72 miles per hour in 2 seconds and going up that top hat and through the rest of the course, it was the greatest ride in the world. I had conquered my fear of roller coasters with one coaster, and that was Storm Runner. So I can always thank Storm Runner for helping me to overcome my fear of roller coasters. I think the reason that this cured my fear of roller coasters was because it seemed scary at first, but it was over so quick, and it just made it seem like I had done something special. So thank you, Storm Runner, for that, and it forever changed my life. This legendary vacation that took place in 2021 might have been the vacation that led me to becoming a roller coaster enthusiast. I mean, it definitely was. Starting off with Walt Disney World, a lot of the coasters there that we had not been getting to ride before in past trips because of line lengths. We went for a longer time this time around, so we were able to ride more of the roller coasters there. But Universal was really where I became a roller coaster enthusiast, and all thanks to Jurassic World Velocicoaster. I had recently gotten out of my fear of roller coasters from Storm Runner, so I was no longer scared of riding any coasters. So we decided to ride the then brand new Jurassic World Velocicoaster. Jurassic World Velocicoaster has 2 launches and a very fun and action-packed layout with some of the best coaster elements out there. After riding Jurassic World Velocicoaster, I was hooked on coasters. I was obsessed, literally obsessed. I started watching a lot of roller coaster YouTubers, and we started going to a lot of new parks. And my life has forever been changed because I've gotten to go on new adventures with my family to new places that we would have never been able to see or experience if we hadn't been hooked on coasters. Coasters have done a lot of good in my life, and I really appreciate it. So thank you, Jurassic World Velocicoaster and Storm Runner, for helping me to become an enthusiast and be able to share my story with others.